When tennis fans talk about players they love to watch, John McEnroe's name quickly enters the conversation. #1 in the world for 4 years in the early 80s, he's now the leading point getter on the Nuveen Tour. Second in points and leading money winner, and also someone who enters that conversation quickly, Jimmy Connors. These two are about to meet for the Price Waterhouse Coopers champion. And welcome, everyone, to this week's stop on the Nuveen Tour. It is the Price Waterhouse Coopers Champions here in Irving, Texas. We are at the Four Seasons Resort and Hotel. A great complex it is, and a great tennis match is about to come your way. Jimmy Connors and John McEnroe are about to go at it in this afternoon's final. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Gorman, along with Vic Braden, and we toast you here. We could call this the calm before the storm, I guess, because when these two players get together anytime, anywhere, there'll be a storm out on the court.
Michael, in my opinion, I've been involved in tennis for 53 years. In open tennis, closed tennis, Pismo Beach closed, whatever it is, this is still the very best match that any tennis fan can see in the world today, Connors and McEnroe.
And for those of you who had a chance to see yesterday's semifinal and Vic's interview with John McEnroe, John really wants a piece of Jimmy.
Yeah, he really wants, and he really would like to end Connors' career. He's basically saying, I don't like to come in second ever, and he said, and I would love nothing better than to be first, and you'll be second. And he wants to send that message to Jimmy today.
Yesterday, John McEnroe said to Vic, it's my time. We'll find out over the next couple of hours what Jimmy Connors has to say about that. So a good match? A good match. Jimmy Connors and John McEnroe coming up from the Price Waterhouse Coopers champions here in Irving, Texas, right after this.
He is considered one of the all-time greats in the history of tennis.
And welcome back once again, everyone, to the Four Seasons Resort and Club here in Irving, Texas. The Price Waterhouse Coopers champions. The final about to be contested, and what better final could one want than Jimmy Connors against John McEnroe. I'm Mike Gorman, along with Vic Braden, and I want to challenge my partner here, Vic Braden, as we take a look at the numbers on John McEnroe, and you see age 39. You said off the top of the show, Vic, that this is the match that anyone in the world would want to see. We're talking about a 39-year-old and a 46-year-old. Why do you say that?
Well, they haven't changed a lick since they were 11, 12 years old. Jimmy Connors, you see here, at age 46, playing like a 22-year-old kid. He can't stand the fact that he's lost. He hates to lose. He lost the last time to Mac, so it's a big challenge for him today, and I'm just as excited about this match as when I saw him when they were just young kids. McEnroe obviously would like to bury Connors big time.
Jimmy Connors very honest with the press here this week in Irving, saying that he knows ultimately he will lose the battle with Father Time, but he is going to make Father Time work as hard as he can over not only this year, but the coming couple of years. And the big question, I think, will be is can Jimmy Connors play right up until, say, he's 50? If you look at him right now, you would have to say, yes, he can if he wants to.
You know, he's lean and trim, and it's interesting. McEnroe said in his interview after the semifinal, I'm going to when I first start out this match, I'm going to see what Jimmy has. And he said, also, I'm going to think tonight in my room about how I'm going to play him. Now, that's an amazing statement from somebody. Connors says, what's the big deal? You hit it to the right, you hit it to the left, you keep it deep, and you beat that toad. So, basically, you got two different styles, two brain types, but both players really just unbelievably determined to win.
McEnroe to serve to open the match. John McEnroe had his serve broken yesterday in the first game against Mel Purcell. Jimmy Connors, of course, and this is quoting John McEnroe, perhaps the best return of server all time.
Yes, I'd say right now in the history books there are three men are the best, and I'll talk about that in just a second. Look out.
John thought he had the line, and I did too, frankly.
Well, Mac doesn't wait very long to jump on things. So we've been in business for about a half a minute, and we're into it. Take a look. Ooh, look out. Unless it were long, it sure looked pretty good from here.
thing that John McEnroe was able to do yesterday was run Mel Purcell around, whether he can run Jimmy Connors around in the same way. It'll probably be a different story. And now Jimmy, a walk to the net after the call of long.
Well, you've had 3 points, and at this particular point, 2 have been debated. So I guess that's what we're in for today. But it only shows you how much you guys want to win. You got Mac. He's already shown us what he's going to do. Keep the ball in play, and he'll try to sneak in on Jimmy, because Jimmy passes so doggone well. And I'll get back to that service return again in just a second.
Oh, a great return of serve.
If you watch,
just a great point.
If you watch Jimmy's racket on his service return, it just stays up. It doesn't come around his neck. It just leaves it up. And when he hits the ball, he is on you like anything. If he has a good service return, you're very vulnerable. You lift it. He takes the middle of the court and passes you quickly.
First ace.
The 3 people I'm talking about, I think, who have had the best, as you get a chance to watch John serve, one of the big ones. The 3 best service return hitters I've seen, watch that forward: Jack Kramer, Andre Agassi, and Jimmy Connors.
One of the things that John McEnroe mentioned to you yesterday, he thought in terms of keys to defeating Jimmy Connors would be his serve today and how well he served.
Well, and yesterday he started poorly in the 30% in the semifinals, got up to 60-some%. Pretty darn good. Remember, Pancho Gonzalez finished a career high, about 72% first serves. That's some of the best I've ever seen. Jimmy Connors can hit the ball so deep. That's the name of the game. He penetrates. He makes you feel like you're up against a wall and you want to say to him, get off of me, get off of me. McEnroe, on the other hand, little cat and mouse game. Plays it short, deep, changes the speed, changes the spin. You'll hit 8 feet over the net and then skim it with a little underspin. Drives you nuts. You're right, he's serving well. That's good placement, key points. He's had chances to lose this, but he's right on schedule. Look out. Now here's a case. McEnroe had the play, but you come in a little bit more tentatively against Jimmy because Jimmy returns so well. So sometimes you overhit when you're playing against him. You're a little bit afraid of his return. You overplay the shot a little bit, and the next thing you know, you overplayed it too much.
So the first break point of the match belongs to Jimmy Connors.
Well, it's a little harder to break John's serve than it is Jimmy's serve. I remember when we first did the study on Jimmy, he was only in the 70s. And he got up to 104. He's improved his serve, and he's serving better than when he played in the Open.
Game Connors.
And so Jimmy Connors is able to break to open our match. The Price Waterhouse Coopers champions final will continue. Jimmy Connors up a break here in the first set. Wide. And of course, great bios on Jimmy Connors, John McEnroe, and of course, if you want to check in with my partner, it's real easy. It's VicBrate.com.
Well, I use the Nuveen website to keep up on stuff, especially when they're playing over in Europe. It's fun, so we're linked together. There you see a perfect example. That was about 80 miles per hour and a first serve. So it'll be a little bit easier to get to Jimmy, I think.
This hit will go wide.
Yeah, marvel at Connors. 46 years old. He runs corner to corner. He hits the ball slight topspin, usually flat. But the penetration is just something we haven't seen in tennis for years.
15 all, and the television doesn't really do justice to what kind of condition Jimmy Connors is in when you see him in person. It's remarkable.
Watch this. I think he can hit those lines. And that's his weak side, the forehand. He hits a better 200 backhand. In the old days, he used to make 10 airs on the forehand side for every air that he made on the backhand. I think he's improved his forehand a lot. Yeah.
30-15.
I remember one time when Jimmy was in his heyday, he cracked up. Somebody cracked up the whole place, 14,000 people in the stands. They had about a 20-time rally. Connors hitting it deep just inside the baseline. And some guys, they're screaming in the words quiet. Some guy stood up and said, "Way to go, Jimenez." And we couldn't, nobody knew what he was talking about. And we laughed our guts out for about a half hour.
40-15.
Chick Earn and I were doing the telecast out of San Diego. And Chick got up and looked around because he thought maybe there was a Jimenez or something.
John McEnroe and Jimmy Connors have met 40 times over their career. McEnroe trying here to even up their record on the senior circuit. Connors currently leads 4-3. McEnroe really dominated on the regular tour, 23-10.
Game Connors.
But Jimmy Connors is able to hold serve, and he does so relatively easily. So Jimmy Connors with a 2-love lead here in the first for Price Waterhouse Coopers. How'd you script this, Al? How'd you make sure that you had Connors and McEnroe in your final?
Well, we don't know how we did it, but it's been 4 incredible days of tennis, and it's very fitting to have the two of them playing off in the finals.
Left 15.
I want to thank you, of course, for your hospitality all week long, and it really has been a great week, great crowds.
We're hoping that this will become an annual event in Irving. They've done a great job of hosting it, and of course the champions have been terrific.
It's a great concept, the Nuveen Tour. You not only get the great tennis, but the people who come really get a chance, as we take another look at Jimmy Connors here coming to the net, but the people who come almost literally get a chance to reach out and touch these guys.
They really do, and you know, all week long they've been coming up into the stands and into the hospitality tents and really interacting with all of the fans. It's been a terrific experience for everyone. It's a real pleasure to see these kind of athletes at this age.
Look out. Look out.
Now it's Jimmy's turn.
Don't hit him close to the line.
Someone in the stand said, just don't hit him close to the line.
There have been a lot of disputes, but again, in all of the research projects, we found that the linesperson is more accurate normally than the player. What a return. Give me a break. You know, John said in his interview, said, well, he's got this, Matt Connors got the best service return in the world, but look at this one. Is that deep? Connors nailed at the baseline and came back so fast. I'm interested in McEnroe returning serve coming out of the shadows. It's hard to do that. Now, why I say that, Mike, is that
30-40.
the player has to make up his mind to return serve where he's going to go before the ball is out 18 feet on 60-foot. Like the same in baseball. If a guy like Sammy Sosa or Mark McGuire wait until after 18 feet to send a message from the brain to the muscle. They strike out. The same here, but it's hard to read when it's coming out of the shadows. So in and out of the shadows right now, and these guys are returning very well for the conditions.
And with the sun setting off to the player's left, these shadows are going to be constantly changing. You can see the heads of the fans out there. Tape is not kind.
Deuce.
No, Vic, both of these players have really been on their game this week, and I'm wondering, they're both left-handed. Is there any advantage to them in this?
It's a disadvantage. Left-handers grow up playing right-handers. Left-handers have a harder time. They have to change the motor program from the brain to the muscular to play a left-hander. Rod Laver's worst record was against left-handers. He's a lefty and one of the best in the history of the game. McEnroe paid tribute to Rod Laver yesterday, and Laver having had a stroke, and what a fine tribute to the Rocket. But Rocket lost in the first round to a left-hander who wasn't ranked in the top 50 at Wimbledon in the first round.
It is interesting, though,
Connor.
you are talking about, if you're going to list your top 5 players, McEnroe, Connors, and Laver make anybody's list, and you get 3 lefties there.
Yeah, dirty rats. They're hard to play.
I don't know if you're a lefty or a righty, Al. It's too late for me to change. I know that.
I'm left-handed, so I figure there's hope.
Oh, yeah, I guess there is.
I knew you were an animal, Al, the minute I saw you.
Deuce.
I'll tell you an interesting thing we did on perception. We had a guy, Roscoe Tanner, serving. People couldn't understand in the class how he could do it left-handed. We reversed the film. He served it right-handed, and they said, that's better. Same serve.
That tells you it's all perception.
It's too good down the line.
Mac wants to dispute it. He doesn't do this softly or gently. You'll probably hear some words now.
You just missed it by an inch or so. Is that in?
I gotta go with the call net. There's no way I can make that call.
You
I'm
called
that
it
close.
was there before the ball even bounced, pal. The ball was clearly wide.
Only way I can overrule if I see a mark.
You should
If
have
I
that
see
guy
space.
saw?
Yes,
How do you know? Did you ask him?
he did the safe.
Oh, that's great. That's a,
The only way I can overrule is if I see a mark between space between the ball and the mark.
Is that the rule?
Yes.
I wasn't aware of that. Thank you for telling me something.
But Mac is right on one score. He does not have to see a mark, but he does have to be sure that the call was missed by 2 inches or more. Now, the person in the chair is right on. He has done the right thing. He's not in a position. He needs stereopsis or depth perception to make that call. It's too difficult a call to make. He's got to go with the person on the line.
And Jimmy Connors able to come up with a big serve, and he holds. Connors still up 3-1. And I want to talk to you a little bit about
Connors
CIS
leads 3-1.
Dallas. We haven't had a chance to talk about that, and they benefit perhaps more than anybody this week.
Yes, and that was one of the real reasons why we felt so strongly about being sponsors of this tournament, was because of the CIS Dallas. You know, CIS Dallas program gets into schools early with people from the business community and elsewhere, and helps kids see all the options and alternatives that are available. Several of them have been part of this week's tournament activities, so it's a tremendous program.
Wonderful program that's been in operation for over 13 years here in the Dallas area. Communities and schools. Dallas Inc. is the official charity of the PricewaterhouseCoopers Champions event. Big service game so far out of John McEnroe.
Al, what I want to know is when you guys do the Oscars, do a lot of you guys in the office peak?
You know, somebody asked that last week, and nobody but one person knows what the answer is.
You liar, Al.
Well, you know, one of the most interesting questions we got was if you can predict the winners in these presidential elections after 20 minutes, how come it takes us so long to count the Oscar votes?
30-15.
Just kidding, Al. Look at that first serve percentage. But that's typical for Connors, though, Mike, because he doesn't have the speed. He spins more. He has more of an arc, so his percentage is always high.
40-15.
55% for John McEnroe. A much quicker start than he had yesterday when he struggled early against Mel Purcell, but ended up finishing his match well into the 60s.
Well, you're in for a treat, fans, because now Mac is a genius at getting back into the sets. Got his hands full because he's out there playing against one of the best service returns in the history of the game. He's got to figure out some tricky move to get back into this, baby. You'll see he's probably going to attack Jimmy's serve more.
Too good with the return.
You know, he's been doing that all week. He is great with that pass on the serve.
Frankly, he's done it since April 3rd, 68.
That's true.
He's got such a great service return. So simple. He just puts that racket up. He keeps it clean. He doesn't have excess movement. He moves well. He picks up the ball early. He also has a large bank account.
McEnroe was there, but couldn't hit a winner with the volley.
Deuce.
Jimmy, you wonder what he's thinking, huh? And his answer is when you ask him, nothing. He says, doesn't matter what the score is. All I do, as you see, Hall of Famer, what I do is just hit the ball.
Advantage McEnroe.
And the service ace gets Mac out of a little bit of a hole.
Must have skidded on the line, though. So Jimmy changed the pace a little bit.
John McEnroe, a winner from the baseline. And McEnroe is able to hold serve. John McEnroe still down a break, though, here in the first set. It's 3-2 Connors. We'll be back with more in a minute. Here in Irving, Texas, and we're going to take a quick look at the Masters point standings. John McEnroe will stay on top here, win or lose, but if Connors were to win, he's going to get a whole lot closer as those two battle. Of course, the top players head for the Masters in Naples, Florida, come March. And we want to thank Al Bledsoe, the managing partner here in Dallas for PricewaterhouseCoopers, for stopping by. I know you have a lot of hands to shake, people to meet, and things to do while this match is going on. Thank you very much, and thanks a million for your hospitality.
Thank you for having me. It's been terrific.
We look forward to coming back next year.
Very good. We'll look forward to hosting you.
Thank you very much, Al. Once again, John McEnroe able to come up with the first point on Jimmy Connors' serve, looking for that service break to get back on serve here in the first set.
Now keep in mind when you see Mac going into the net here in this replay, you've got the best volleyer, one of the best volleyers in the history of the game, against the best hitter of the service return. So what a combination, what a match. I can't miss. Jimmy playing with his kid. Although Jimmy's pretty good, he knows how to turn 30 seconds into about a minute and a half. When you're 46, you're looking for oxygen. When you're 46 and play as well as he plays and run the way he runs. I watch him anywhere. I go anywhere in the world to watch Connors and Mac. Look out.
Once again, person comes under the glare of John McEnroe.
Well, John's thinking that Connors influenced the call, and he's saying, well, wait a minute, you know, Connors looked like he gave up, so Connors making the call, but it was a late call. You've got to make that call fast. Everybody who ever has worked the line for McEnroe is scared to death.
With good reason.
Well, Mac says what's on his heart, what's in his mind right away. Doesn't hold back. There's the forehand that Jimmy hits into the net quite a bit, if he hits anything into the net quite a bit, but he opens his body early, and I think that you watch him on the forehand side, his right shoulder now, watch his right shoulder open early. He'll turn his shoulder early. That makes the racket go straight across, and the ball very often goes into the net. You have to hit the ball about 212 miles per hour when you hit it from a 4-foot height straight across to make it go over the net. That's a little tough. We got a wing dinger, Mike.
Yeah, we do.
We got a match here. We got a match, baby. I mean, you're now going to see what made these two players, two of the greatest players in the history of the game. Mac hates to lose. He is moving well, and he's hit some beautiful shots from the baseline.
Trip to the towel for McEnroe. Again, you can
Watch coming.
tell that shirt was not as dark a green as it is when he walked onto the court. Just soaked through that one. Ooh, and the call is changed. The original signal was good and then changed to out.
I think we're going to hear some stuff on this one. What?
Let's take a look. Oh.
This is getting to the boiling point here, and it's very early in the match.
I have to go call.
Ball was inside the line now. I'm hitting the line. I go inside the line to play it safe. And you're not going to give me that call either.
I have to go call.
You can take the game, okay? You call warn me into the game. That's horse. All right? That ball is inside. He well knows. Everyone knows in the stadium.
Code violation. Audible obscenity. Warning, Mr. McEnroe.
He's mad. He's saying take the match.
He's saying take the game. He hasn't said take the match.
Oh, you're right. Is it? Was it? Well, he said what his feelings are, and he's got a lot of people in the stands who are agreeing with him. Now, this happened at the challenge. If you remember, it was just the reverse. Connors said at the challenge, you'll get another look at this. Max says it's inside the line.
Max got a pretty good case there.
Connors got a conversation go, but Connors did the same thing at the challenge. He hit a ball that he thought was in. It was called out, and he said, take the doggone match. And the crowd got on his side. That was out at Newport Beach at the Palisades Club. Now, all of a sudden, in reverse. Hold it. Now you see, this is a replay. These two guys have got a real sight game going here.
Jimmy Connors is walking off the court. With the 3-2 here.
I doubt that he's going to come back either.
Jimmy Connors has headed up the stairs by us.
Well, they better get on top of this one fast. McEnroe's. I've seen it all. Now, let's see where we go from here. What a mystery.
John McEnroe alone on the court. I wasn't sure what the exchange was between Jimmy Connors and a fan, which seemed to really tick him off almost more than John McEnroe's.
Better than that, pal.
original
6
trip
inches
to the
inside
chair to
line.
say that he was going to forfeit the
You
game.
can't cheat me that blatantly.
Only way I can override.
The only way you overrule that ball was 6 inches in. It was inside the line, pal.
I didn't see it inside the line.
Are you overruling? Do something.
Only overrule
We're sitting there in 95-degree
We are going to take a break. May do a little editing there. And so we'll be back with more from the PricewaterhouseCoopers champions here in Irving, Texas. We are back at what has turned out to be a very bizarre final for the PricewaterhouseCoopers champions here in Irving, Texas. Jimmy Connors is about to serve top of the screen at 40-30. It has been about a half hour in real time since we last left you. Connors left the court, and now Connors, and you want to play the whole match over again.
Better be careful. One of them's going to come up and bite the other guy's ear.
3-2.
It appears they're going to play the game over again at 3-2. It is the game that they are playing over again in love 15. Interestingly enough, that's how the game started. McEnroe with the touch, and the door is open for McEnroe here. We try to recap between these points as best we can. Take a look at those great hands, soft hands of John McEnroe.
It's 7 to 9 steps running that way, and Connors doesn't want to do that right now.
The call is out, and now 3 break points to get back on serve here for John McEnroe.
Hey, take a look at the turnaround. This could work against Jimmy big time. He was up 40-30 when the confrontation took place. Now down love 40. That's a major turnaround.
Game McEnroe.
And so John McEnroe is able to break back
3
here.
games all.
We are now back on serve here in the first set at 3-all. A bizarre first set that had a 30-minute delay when Jimmy Connors left the court after an exchange with a fan, which came really after, as we take a look at the Nuveen Tour schedule. And these two have been going at each other, but other than the challenge, nothing like we saw today.
15 left.
Ace for John McEnroe.
But you know, Mike, I think it was a lot deeper than that. Jimmy hates it when the people challenge calls, and John is challenging the call more than Jimmy. And he's saying, for heaven's sakes, which is what he did in Newport Beach at the challenge. He's saying, if you want it that badly, take it. John just says it the way it is. He sees it in.
30 left.
But obviously, John's come back the stronger player. Jimmy trying to work through some of the anger that he has right now.
Oh!
Well, Jimmy's ticked. He's made more errors. Got to find a way to get back in there. But if anybody can do it, Jimmy can. But I've seen him in some pretty bizarre situations.
This one's right up there, though.
Yeah, but McEnroe has this kind of relationship with anybody. He recovers quite well when he's in.
40-15.
I think Jimmy's takes a little bit longer to cool off.
Over 30 minutes, these two were off the court. McEnroe, before he left, saying, hey, look, I'm willing to play. If you can get him back out here, I'll play. Obviously, that was a conference downstairs between tournament organizers and Jimmy Connors. McEnroe was the first to return to the court. A few minutes later, Connors came back.
Jimmy gets back into this match, you're going to hear some real partisan fans. That'll help determine a little bit of what his attitude will be.
Forty love to deuce.
Now Jimmy's not taking it. He's going to play it over. Jimmy's going to. I'm not going to play and I'm not going to take it. That's sportsmanship from Jimmy. And he gets ace.
Game McEnroe.
So McEnroe holds, and for the first time in this bizarre first set, John McEnroe has a 4-3 lead. More from the Price Waterhouse Coopers champions in Irving, Texas in a moment. We are on serve here in the first set. Mike Bowman along with Vic Braden. You have been watching tennis much longer than I. This is going into my top 2 or 3 bizarre matches. It's got to make you a Hall of Fame somewhere.
Well, both of these guys are pretty volatile guys, and they put their heart and soul into everything, and so little things that go wrong affect them more than some other people. But you got to learn how to manage anger. Prisons are filled with people who can't. By the way, Mike, the police officer escorted the man who allegedly created some of this problem from the stands. He is now out in the grass area.
If he's lucky. He might be in a van somewhere.
Not again. Oh, no. Oh, no, I can't. I was 6'3" and thin before this match started. Goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. Don't bite her. No, don't bite the ear. Don't bite the ear. Well, we'll get a chance to look at it.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Point penalty, Mr. McEnroe.
And now a point penalty to John McEnroe from the chair. It looked like it might have been outside the line.
Well, I don't think he's going to even take that. Well, if he starts picking up his bags, I think everybody's going to go to dinner.
Get in her face.
What, 5 feet away?
You got in her face.
Throw the ball?
You got in her face.
What's in her face? I'm just curious. But don't do that. Let me tell you something first. Let me explain to you the facts, okay? He hit a ball that was out, okay? I went over and asked her why she made that call, and you gave me a point. So that's 2 points I would have lost. Instead of 15-30, you want it to be 45. How does that happen?
When you get into an umpire's face,
Umpire's
that's
face? What, are you
unsportsmanlike
kidding?
conduct.
Why don't you go replay and listen to what I said? Don't give any. Don't do that. It's 15-30. If anything.
Jimmy Connors saying to Margaret Kruger in the chair, don't do that. Just let us play.
Now, this is going to go on Broadway.
Oh!
40-15.
Jimmy's really trying to work through something here. He's having a hard time with this. I hope he can come back and play his best because it's set up for a great match.
Game Connors.
And we are even at 4-all.
4-all.
Dangerous part of the court that John McEnroe is standing in over there. That's where Jimmy Connors got into a dispute with the fan that led to him ultimately walking off the court. Or certainly contributed to it.
Well, Jimmy's got to trillion fans out in this world, and just hope that he can put it all together.
Love.
You let John McEnroe establish serve at the net, and you're in trouble.
And watch how simple, just boom, stop. No big deal, no big follow-through. Sensational volley.
Ball! 30 love.
I cannot believe that they're...
Jimmy Connors just calling his own lines now. Is basically what he's doing.
And Jimmy once said that what he wanted to do on the Nuveen tour, and Jimmy gives him the point. So we now have a giant conflict. Who's calling the ball? And the answer is the players. Well, either the heat has gotten to the lines people or it's gotten to the players, because I haven't seen this many disputes in a long time.
40-15.
It has been a great week here in Irving, Texas. But, they start to recruit the lines people for next year. The crowd might be a little smaller.
Game McEnroe.
Big first serve by John McEnroe. And John McEnroe, a 5-4 lead. We are on serve. The final of the Price Waterhouse Coopers Champions. And our thanks to Mara Gast and all the nice folks with the Convention and Visitors Bureau who have been so much of a aid to us all week long here. And it really has been, up until about 45 minutes ago, just a very pleasant week. And it still is, it certainly is exciting. And when you think about the history of both of these players, that something like this would occur certainly doesn't come as a great surprise.
Well, in my opinion, this debacle has bothered Jimmy more than John. Jimmy's not used to this as much as John is.
Love 30.
Huge opportunity now here for John McEnroe as love 30. Connors serving at 4-5.
Ah! 15-30.
That was clearly out.
They have to make those calls quickly, though. That's the thing that bothers players. If there's a late call, then they can be manipulated a little bit. Beautiful serve.
He needed to.
You know, Mike, we did a study on what happens to a lines person. We wired them up. We looked at their muscles to see what happened. Great serve. And it turns out that their blood pressure goes way up. And
great get by McEnroe. Excellent hustle by John McEnroe, but unable to finish the point. Finish your point, Rick.
The blood pressure goes way up. There's some other physiological
40-30.
changes. But what surprised us is that once they were challenged, once a player was in their face, that did not come down quickly. It stayed high for a long period of time, which also then affects visual acuity. People who are under that kind of pressure can see things a little differently.
Game Connors.
Call was late, but I think the call was good. It's the lateness, I think, that is bothering McEnroe more than anything else. And Jimmy Connors is able to hold serve. We are to 5-all in the first set. Jimmy Connors and John McEnroe have combined to win 9 U.S. Open titles.
Hey, Vic, you see that call in the baseline? That last baseline shot.
We didn't see it. It was not on the counter. They were on the...
Missed it?
John McEnroe calling up to Vic Braden asking if we had seen the call. I thought that was a rather diplomatic answer on your part, Vic.
15 love.
There, again, the great ability of McEnroe when he gets into that behind serve.
Show me a clear mark outside that line. Be my guest.
I saw a space.
Space on with it.
Look at Jimmy's the man to watch here. Jimmy. John does this a lot.
Are you watching? You can't possibly be watching the same match. You know what's funny? You're looking at me like that's the funny part. You've been wrong each and every single stinking time. You understand the rule book? Clear mistake.
Yes.
Clear mistake. You're going to sit there and tell me with a serious face that was a clear mistake.
He's conceded the point.
So what does that make you think? The ball was in or out?
30 love.
Show me the clear mistake and I'll play 15 all.
Jimmy Connors conceding the point. 30 love. Jimmy has a little thing going on here with the fans at the other end, and he's trying to win back this crowd. Not sure he ever really lost them. I think they had gone into neutral territory for a while.
I think he's looking for a way to adjust to the anger and to the disappointment, to confusion for himself. He doesn't. I don't know if he really knows how to do this because John keeps you off balance. But you have to listen to what John said. It does have to be a clear mistake. You know what I'd do right now if I were the two players? I'd ask all the lines people just to leave, enjoy the match, and let these two guys call it because it's turning into that anyway.
I was just going to say, they're doing that anyway.
But you're apt to see when people get under pressure, people making calls that are even worse. Some very difficult things take place.
First set. About an hour and 15 minutes, now and 20 minutes since these players first took the court. Of course, there was a 30-minute delay thrown in there.
Game McEnroe.
No hesitation there on the good call. Another ace for John McEnroe. And
McEnroe.
are we headed for a first set tiebreaker? Stick around and find out. And the Price Waterhouse Coopers champions, 6-5 McEnroe. John McEnroe. Service break here away from the first set. Jimmy Connors serving to try to force
Love
a
15.
tiebreaker.
Boy, Jimmy's ticked, and he's trying to pick up the speed. He's mad. He wants to get this baby over with, but he hit the middle of the net.
John McEnroe.
Yeah, now John's saying something's wrong with the ball. Watch Jimmy. Jimmy saying, let's play tennis. Let's play tennis. But John's right. If he thinks the ball is cracked, he has a right to ask for that. Everybody's waiting for what happens next.
Don't you get that feeling?
When John asked us about, did we see that ball, the camera doesn't run fast enough frames to see that. Let's see if I can take this technical thing and make it simple. I'm accused of being too technical. If you shoot 1,000 frames per second, you only get 3 frames where the ball is in contact with the court. TV camera shoots at only 30, so it's very lucky if you ever get a ball touching the court with a TV camera. Decisive call.
McEnroe misses 40-30 Connors.
And Mac mentioned after the semifinal match in his interview that is the shot he's having trouble with. He's having a little difficulty with his volley, in his opinion. The rest of us, we'd love to have his volley.
Game Connors.
Game to Connors. We are 6-all here in the first set, and we will play a tiebreaker.
6-all tiebreaker.
John McEnroe will serve to begin the tiebreak.
And this is the way it should be with after all the chaos. Come into a tiebreaker. Now you got to play.
1-0 McEnroe.
This is where Jimmy's in trouble, because if Mac can chip it and come in on that second ball. Good serve. What a return by McEnroe. Son of a gun. Got to give him credit. That was beautiful.
Another look.
You see Mac, now watch Mac lift that body. But look where he puts Jimmy out of the court.
3-0
And
McEnroe.
Jimmy Connors hits long. It is 3-0. McEnroe up 2 mini breaks.
Please no conversing with the players. Thank you.
Myron Kruger in the chair trying desperately to keep control.
4-0 McEnroe.
Right now, Myron Kruger doesn't remember his name. I got to tell you. He's under.
You talk about blood pressure.
Yeah, that's right. No wonder his hat's not sitting on his head. Sensational.
That was maybe Connors' best point of the match.
Oh, sensational. Sorry to talk during the point, but I'm impressed. That was so deep. I couldn't tell whether Jimmy was just hitting and said, I don't give a darn, and because I'm down so far.
4-1 McEnroe.
Or whether he just calculated that. But boy, what a beautiful play. That is sensational to see. Look at that stare. Comes to play. He is so focused.
Floats along.
5-1 McEnroe.
It is 5-1 McEnroe now. In complete control here in the first set tiebreak.
Watch Jimmy walk. He's double his speed. He's already.
This ball should not be used. We'll leave it right here, okay? Okay.
Jimmy's upset. He's not taking this too well.
Hold your ball.
5 set points there for John McEnroe.
Didn't see who he was pointing to there, but he's obviously pretty calm.
6-2, McEnroe.
And the first set goes to John McEnroe, 7-2 in the tiebreak. Back with more from the Price Waterhouse Coopers champions in just a moment. So Jimmy Connors, who just about 20 minutes ago looked like he was just in a hurry to have anything happen here, now I think is take a little different look at this match. Up a break here in the second set.
Point penalty, Mr. McEnroe.
What is it?
A few more points he hasn't yet. He's already gotten about 10. He doesn't need any more.
This is the last time the two met. A point penalty has just been given to John McEnroe. At least I thought that's what I heard.
That's what I thought I heard too. He said he's already had 11. If he gets one more, then by the rules, he's history. This is what happened to him in Australia, but it put more effect upon Jimmy. Look out. This is a silly argument to get into, because the question is who has the authority to push him out and where they're going to push him to.
Thank you.
Jimmy just trying to keep his cool. John losing his. He's upset with the line's calls. He's upset with nearly everything. Partially correct on a couple of interpretations, I think. Whether he's correct on the line calls, another ballgame.
And Jimmy Connors, who left the court in the first set and was looking like the villain of this match, he's winning the crowd back right now. It's going to sail wide, and it is 5-2 Connors. Second set here. Price Waterhouse Coopers champions to be decided. Stick around. John McEnroe to serve, trying to stay alive here in the second set. We are at the Price Waterhouse Coopers champions. Mike Gorman along with Vic Braden. Glad you can join us. It has been a bizarre couple of hours of tennis. And you have the feeling it is not over yet.
Well, a dream come true would be to have Connors win the second set. Now it's all even. All the other stuff that's gone on, all the emotional stuff, now it's down the toilet. Now we can start to really play.
Ball change.
Mac has changed shirts. As I mentioned earlier, you'll see a lot of decisions that will be affected by this emotional stuff. There's another one right there. The ball change should have been made so the players got the balls before, but they're thinking of other things, how to protect their livelihood. They want to go to work tomorrow and feel like a human, while Jimmy has a little fun there. He's loose now.
He is indeed.
Yeah. It's good to see him back. Jimbo's back.
I love that shirt graphic. We take great pride in that. All right, everybody's back in their seat, and we're set to go. McEnroe serving at 2-5.
from Connors. McEnroe hit such an elegant shot. Connors comes back cross court deep. Holy Christmas. Watch this. Look at that shot. That could discourage Mac. That's good enough to beat almost anybody. Well, it's starting to look like that tiebreaker that we all want. Be nice to see no one feeling like they're losing this match because of some other outside influence. But now we can get into a third set. 29 unforced errors from Mac. More than I've seen him make in a long time. But he knows he's let Jimmy back in.
15-30.
Now remember, this match, if I'm not mistaken, Mike, is where if Mac wins, he ties now in the senior tour with Jimmy Connors. He's even, not in points, but in head-to-head.
Yes, they would be 4 all.
They'd be 4 all. So it's a pretty big match for Mac. So he puts a little extra sauce into it. Nice play. Jimmy's out of contention.
Opportunity here for Jimmy Connors, a chance to take the second set at 6-2
and serve first in the tiebreaker.
Wait, please.
Flip.
Oh, that is called.
They heard it that time.
Yeah, I did too.
A reminder from Henry Brim that they flip the coin on the tiebreaker as to who serves first. First one to 10 and be up by 2. Oh, ball's down. Everything's going wrong. You'll hear from him. Oh, no. Not when you're in position, you're solid. He doesn't miss that shot much at all. But he had too much time. Too much time. That's a tough shot, Mike.
Absolutely.
You know, you never do that when you really need the point. So I'm just amazed. It's a pretty loose shot in a lot of ways, but he had Jimmy moving backwards, as you can see. But that's a shot you seldom try. I seldom have seen him do it on a point that he really needs. Goodness gracious.
Huge return of serve. The deuce.
Huge is hardly the word. He's pushed way out of court, comes back with a super angle. That's one thing. The further out of court you are, the better angle you can come back with.
Advantage Connors.
Once again, a set point. Jimmy Connors. And the second serve now to look at.
If Jimmy moves in on it.
And the second set goes to Jimmy Connors at 6-2. And we will play the 10-point tiebreaker to decide the champion of the Price Waterhouse Coopers Champions here at the Four Seasons Resort and Club in Irving, Texas. You can see the rules that we just heard. First player to win, to get to 10, win by 2. Side change every 6 points.
Sir.
Jimmy Connors wins the toss. I think he said that he was served.
Well, Jimmy wins it. Mac not serving too well in this second set. At 43%, as I understand it from our statistician, and that doesn't bid well. He's going to have to come up, pull his game up in this tiebreaker. Now, about 25, 30 years of experience is on the line. Who's been in the circus long enough to be able to come back and win that tiebreaker? John has made a lot of unforced errors, which is not indicative of his style of play. All even.
As we should be.
Right. All excuses gone. Now it's time to play. That's what tennis is all about.
.52 unforced errors.
1-0 Connors.
1-0 Connors. John McEnroe, number 1 in the world, 4 consecutive years from 81 to 84. Oh, great return from Connors. His trademark.
Boy, is that class? Is that class? Give me a break. He just nailed it into the corner. Mac was only halfway up, and the ball was already by him. I'm just going to say, don't count Mac out. He didn't have all those titles for nothing. Somebody asked Connors, what were you thinking about when you were down match point not too long ago in one of the matches? And he said, nothing. But I'm quite sure that this is a little different. I think he would like to let this one get in the win column for some other reasons. 14 aces for Mac, 4 for Connors.
Down the line. 2-all.
Well, McEnroe has such great passing shots. I guess that's why Jimmy doesn't like to come in that much. But how do you like that? That was no fluke shot. That's a clean hit down the line. He's passed. Didn't get one single step towards the ball. Another barn burner. That shows you that Mac is a little tight, in my opinion. I mean, he hit the bottom of the net. The ball was only coming about 75 miles per hour. He was way ahead of the shot, so he's a little tense. It's kind of like Sammy Sosa going after a changeup. Look at that return.
Oh, just didn't get enough on the lob.
And that's tough. Mac had to take a low volley.
3-all.
Jimmy Connors changing sneaker, but to pull his sock up.
Interesting about Jimmy and his shoes, for a long time he wore 365 pair of shoes a year. And went to Converse one year, and this guy had this giant box of shoes. He was making 365. I said, that's absolutely a year. He said, who? I said, who are they for? He said, Jimmy Connors. He changes shoes after every match. I don't know if he's still doing that, but see that little click that you just saw with his feet? That's what he does. Mac could use some first serves right now. This guy's lethal on the other side.
4-3 McEnroe.
Forehand. Jimmy's right. He's pretty upset, but when you hit in the middle of the net, it means your racket wasn't lower than the ball. You weren't lifting. You're coming across the ball. Now let's see what Mac does. See if he can get a good service return and turn this baby around. Well, he tried it. He wanted to come in. This is where the champions are great. It's like a Michael Jordan. They usually relax a little bit when they get into this situation. They like it. That's the difference between a great champion and the has-been or wannabe.
It's long.
Boy, you got to hand it to Jimmy. He slid that baby into the corner so deep. 4-all when he hit it. A lot of pressure. It's like he says, what are you thinking about when you're in this situation? He says, nothing. Oh boy, with the rest of us are kind of praying and saying, look, God, we'll go to church 3 weeks in a row if you give me this point.
Terrific return by Connors, but McEnroe equal to the task with the volley.
5-all.
Well, the best person on the service return opposing the best volleyer shows you that the volleyer, in most cases, is going to win.
Strength against strength.
Oh,
Maybe not at all.
oh, is that sensational? Oh, is that sensational? Give me a break. The guy throws in a deep serve. Connors juices it right down the line. Oh, major. I can dig this.
6-5 Connors. Now to serve twice.
Connors not known for his big serve.
And the return from McEnroe is good. We are 6-all in the champions tiebreak. Players changing sides every 6 points here in the champions tiebreak. We're at 6-all. Connors to serve, on serve. Each player with 2 mini breaks in the tiebreak.
Right down to the wire, the way it should have been.
Absolutely.
Look at Jimmy smiling. It's wonderful.
Connors missed it.
7-6 McEnroe.
Uh-oh. He overplayed it.
He did indeed.
And he had McEnroe on a string. Those are the shots that you don't like. But still, he hit the ball. He hit it. He didn't baby it. What a big edge from Mac now.
Call is out.
John, it's in your best interest to get back there and play. disruption now could be a brutal mistake.
7-all.
A double fault to 7-all.
Well, he's not going to come up to net and crack a joke. Hand it to him. Saying, shut up. Get your work done. He did that quite well, by the way, the last time he played Connors. He held his cool. And earlier in the tournament, he was having a little trouble, but he kept his calm and he beat Connors.
Jimmy Connors with the big return.
Oh, that is so good and so hard to do.
8-7 Connors.
Down the line, sensational, sensational.
Connors now a chance to serve for the match.
Wait, please.
Last time he came with a soft one, and Mac actually missed it.
Shot was out.
Oh no!
8-all.
8-all.
Jimmy. Bottom of the net. Bottom of the net, gang, and a big point. There's a little frown now.
He really had a huge opportunity there.
Boy, but has he been brilliant in lieu of all the things that have happened. I take my hat off to both of them. I can't believe that they can come back and hit these brisk shots.
McEnroe from the baseline hits the winner, and McEnroe now a chance to serve for the match.
Well, as I said, you can't count him out. He's been there so many times, but look at the position he was in. Jimmy hits a wonderful shot. It's deep. It's everything you asked for. And I must say that Jimmy got a little slow start at the net. That was surprising to me. He did not even get a step, and from that corner, the ball's got across pretty close to the center strap.
Ball, please.
Well, let's see if Jimmy can come up with some miracles here, because he's going to need them.
Serve was long.
Wow.
9-all.
9-all.
Just what Max said. He said, I'm having trouble with my volley. He went out and did a little practicing the other day on the volley. But boy, when you got control of the play and you got that volley, we haven't seen him miss a volley like that. He's missed 4 or 5 of them tonight at that level. I haven't seen him miss that shot in a long time. It's his 5th volley that he's netted at the net. Simple little movement. See, the head stays up, but playing it too tight to the tape. That was out.
That was out.
10-9 Connors.
Oh, double fault at 9-all. Not a McEnroe trait.
So once again, Jimmy Connors steps up with a chance to serve for the match.
But you can bet Mac will be there just like it's supposed to end.
We have had 6 I want to say we've had, my numbers are right here, we've had 9 consecutive mini breaks on the serve.
Jimmy throwing that thing in, trying to end it. Keep your eye on Mac. The service return's big here.
Jimmy Connors, 11-9 in the champions tiebreak, has defeated John McEnroe.
Boy, you gotta hand it to him. He came back. He was stiff. He was tight. He loosened up a little bit. We start seeing a little bit of laughter, and from that point on, he was one tough hombre. I don't think Mac ever thought he was going to lose this match, and he'll do a lot of thinking about this, how he played it, how he handled it.
A bizarre afternoon of tennis comes to a close here at the PricewaterhouseCoopers Champions, and Jimmy Connors, 6'7", 6'2", 11-9, takes home the title. Everyone to the PricewaterhouseCoopers Champions, where Jimmy Connors in the champions tiebreak has emerged the winner at 11-9. Let's go down on the court now to Henry Brem, who is the executive producer of the Nuveen Tour, for the awards.
Now to the good part. Let me bring up Michael Kinsley, representing U.S. News, and Louis Wigg, Vice President of Smirnoff Vodka, and Jose Cuervo, our presenting sponsors, to present the runner-up check.
Thank you. On behalf of U.S. News and World Report, I'd like to thank all the players and the audience for a spectacular week, and we look forward to seeing you all next year. Thank you.
As someone who went to every single WCT finals in Dallas, I can't tell you what a thrill it is to have two titans of the tennis world here today. I'd like another round of applause for these two guys. So on behalf of Smirnoff and Jose Cuervo and United Distillers and Vintners and U.S. News and World Report, we'd like to call John McEnroe up and present him with the finalist trophy and $25,000.
All the sponsors, thanks, but particularly the fans, because your energy was great, and I wish that there'd been more time between coming to Dallas, because I've had a lot of great memories here playing WCT finals. So it's the Four Seasons is a wonderful hotel. We usually stay in a far inferior spots, and we appreciate the hospitality that we received this week, and all the people. Thank you very much, and can't say anything else.
Now to present the Champions Trophy and check, Mr. Al Bledsoe, Managing Partner of PricewaterhouseCoopers.
I'd like to thank all of the great champions that were here this week for 4 outstanding days of tennis. This has really been an exciting week, and certainly for the City of Irving and the Four Seasons Resort. And I'd like to thank our staff who put together the PricewaterhouseCoopers Hospitality Group. I'd now like to ask Jimmy Connors to come up and tell him that I really do appreciate the intensity with which he played this game all week long and the commitment that he's shown here, and it's only fitting that Jimmy wins this first match in Dallas, and we hope it'll be one of many in years to come. Jimmy, congratulations. Here's your check for $40,000. Thank you.
So another great win for Jimmy Connors here as he takes home the championship of the PricewaterhouseCoopers Champions. And Vic, quite an interesting afternoon of tennis.
Well, as a psychologist and a sports researcher, I would say this would have been a beautiful opportunity to run an experiment for all of those sports researchers in the world. I love it.
Always a pleasure, Vic. See you next time. And we hope you will join us next time. Jimmy Connors emerges the winner here of the PricewaterhouseCoopers Champions. For my partner, Vic Braden, I'm Mike Gorman. Thanks for watching, everybody.